All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory unto our power, Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai Bahasham, Harachakudash. Double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught us his truth and who also were well. Peace and salutation to those of the hopeful elect. All right, the title of this lesson, it's going to be Lord's will. All forms of entertainment has crashed. Ground zero. All right, all forms of entertainment has crashed. Okay, in America. All right, Babylon the Great. All right, everything is collapsing right before everyone's eyes. Okay, and people are still operating like things is normal. Okay, yet you have a lot of people turning to the internet, to TikTok, to express their concerns and express their discrepancies they have with society, as well as, people turning to YouTube. All right. Because everything is collapsing. All right. The entertainment, things that keep people going week to week. Okay. Such as, one of the major things is the video game industry. All right. Which, some brothers are in a video game, some others ain't. All right, but nevertheless, that whole industry, the whole market, has been, going for years. All right, and that was a form of entertainment that kept adults, and, you know, going. All right, people would get off work, they'll go home, play the video games, they'll, adventure games and things like that. All right, but now all you see is people complaining that the whole market is crashing. All right. Sony, what is it? PlayStation, Microsoft. All right. All these different platforms are collapsing. Okay. And not just that, Hollywood. All right. Hollywood, we're pretty much seeing the tail end of that collapse. Okay. How Hollywood and these different celebrities, okay, these different celebrities are through. The BET, all these different platforms. Nobody's looking towards, the music industry. Okay, nobody's buying records. Okay, the scriptures speak about how the Lord was going to bring, the daughters of music low. All right, nobody could make a hit. Okay, and that's a form of entertainment. People can't get music, to because that's part of keeping people going. They got the music, the latest summer jam. Okay, people can't play video games. All right, and Hollywood, that's another thing that's collapsing. All right, no form, no good movies or TV shows is coming out. Okay, yeah, you got a few, here and there, but even then, nothing is original. They always, remaking something. Okay, and now it's to the point where the different movies and TV shows is just they don't have the same allure or the same effect, all right, as they once had, because this place is collapsing. All right, now the people in this world, they're trying to hang on to it for dear life because that's all they have. All right, the stock market, okay, it's collapsing, and the price, of everything is skyrocketing. All right. Hey, that was some of the things that people did for entertainment, was go to the mall, shop, buy. All right. People can't even do that. Okay. Another thing, the club scene / dating market is cooked. All right. Hey, nobody. The only people that's showing up to the club is disgruntled women. All right, and they looking for a husband. They can't find a husband anywhere. All right, and nobody's going buying bottle service. All right, the clubs are shutting down. All right, which that's another form of entertainment. Okay, so everything is collapsing right before our eyes. All right, and the mass hysteria, the panic, all right, has yet to ensue. But wait, it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen because it's gonna get to a point where it's unbearable. Okay. Let me get a quick precept. This is Isaiah 24:4. The earth mourneth and fadeth away. The world languisheth and fadeth away. The haughty people of the earth do languish. Okay. And when you go into the word haughty, proudly. Okay. So, these people are, that are proud. The scriptures speak about the pride of life. All right. Here it is. They don't give a fuck about the warnings of the prophets, the men of the Lord, telling them that the Lord gonna destroy this place. They've been walking around with their nose stuck up in the air, continuing to do wickedly. All right, continuing to push forth, these different holidays or holidays. Okay, continuing to push the LGBT agenda. All right. And then wondering why their society is collapsing right in front of them. Okay. So it says, the haughty people of the earth do languish. Okay. So now we're in a time where these proud people are beginning to feel it. All right. They're wondering what's going on with the society that they're living in. What world are we living in? Okay. You guys are living in hell. And it's only going to get worse. All right. Here it is. Esau, Edom, so-called white man is being exposed. All right, your whole government is ran by pedos, okay, and Satan worshipers, okay, and you people are still okay with it. All right, nobody is coming up. Nobody is causing a hoopla. All right, yeah, people talk about it. They may make a statement, but they're still conforming to the ways of this society, okay, and people are working dead end jobs. Okay, people that did go to school can't get a job, and people that do have high paying jobs are getting laid off, or the cost of living is rising. All right, they did all that work to get into a great job, and now they still can't pay rent. They're still struggling to get by. All right, because the society's collapsing, and there's nothing that these people could do about it. All right, and this is just the beginning, of the trouble that these people are going to encounter. Okay, it says the earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof, because they have transgressed the laws, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. Therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burnt, and few men left. All right, so the World War III that Trump is pretty much leading. All right, he's pretty much, forward in World War III. All right. Hey, the end result of that is the demise of America by way of that thermonuclear holocaust. All right. The lake of fire. Okay. And we're seeing that's taking off. The Lord is allowing that to take off because we're at the end. Okay. And these people, they're just sitting around. There ain't shit to do in Babylon. Nothing is fun no more for these people. Okay. There's nothing to do but just sit around and look at doom and gloom. All right. And people are reconsidering their life here in America. All right. They're getting ready to get shipped off to the Middle East in this historic draft that's getting ready to take place. Okay. And people are wondering what's going on. All right. Well, it's the time of judgment. Okay. I'm gonna continue to read. It says, the new wine mourneth, the vine languisheth, all the merry-hearted do sigh. All right, all the merry-hearted do sigh. Okay, because these people, they thought nothing was gonna happen to them. People was turning up, all kind of trends. Okay, people was talking shit. All right, harming people. All right, and in society, people putting hell on other people. All right, and didn't think that nothing was gonna come back towards them. Okay, and mainly, these people are gonna pay for the hell that they've put on, those that believe in Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay. All right. It says, the mirth of tabrets ceaseth, the noise of them that rejoiceth endeth, the joy of the harp ceaseth. Yeah. So all that, the music and, the festivities and all that is coming to an end. All right. Nobody's is in that spirit no more. All right. We're in hard times. Okay. And it's only going to get worse. All right. All that lollygagging, that playing around and, the folly and, the different TikTok, trends and pranks and all that shit is coming to an end. All right. The Lord is getting ready to bring judgment upon these people, meaning these people, they're going to be suffering in every way. They're going to be hungry. They're going to be in the distress of mind. All right. There's going to be war on the soils of America. Okay. And ultimately leading up. All right. There's going to constantly be the threat of nuclear missiles getting let off on this place. It says, they shall not drink wine with a song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. Okay. So any type of form of entertainment is not going to be able to lift or lighten the mood or of the circumstances that these people are in. Okay, there's nothing that these people are going to be able to do to escape the hell. All right, because these people have been proud against Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, and the Lord is tired of it. All right, the Lord gonna cause a famine. All right, that means you people don't deserve to eat. Okay, you people don't deserve to nourish yourselves. All right, because you're going to use that food, that nourishment, that fuel to go be a demon, to continue to be demons. All right, these people don't even realize, these Edomites, they don't even realize that the Lord has been feeding them. All right, but when the Lord break the staff of bread, okay, that's going to be a punishment unto them. All right, to the point where people are going to be, famished. They're going to be trying to eat each other. All right. And this is the divine judgment from Yahweh Shema Shai. Okay, let me actually get a quick precept real quick. This is Revelations 18:7. How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen and am no widow and shall see no sorrow. All right, so that's the haughtiness, thinking that ain't shit gonna happen to him. All right. And that's completely personified when you look at the woman, chiefly, the so-called black woman. Here it is. She's just doing all manners of just vile, wicked, evil, harmful things. All right. Fucking, just causing chaos. Just anywhere there's wickedness going on, you can see the black woman there, and she has no shame. All right, she has no fear. Like the things she doing, the Lord gonna jack her up. She just going all out. All right, and that's the mindset of these people, because they're the ungodly. Okay, but the divine judgment is coming, and when the Lord really, gets these people. All right, with the plagues, start touching people, all right, in a mass number, they're going to know in the back of their mind that this is a divine judgment, all right, for the wickedness that they've committed, okay? And the Lord is calling out for repentance, but repentance is only allotted for the nation of Israel, all right? And in this time, only the elect, which is an even smaller number of, individuals, okay? Because the Lord is only dealing with Israelites. So all these other nations are out of that. They're just going to get judged. All right. But within the nation of Israel, 2/3 of Israel got to get judged too. All right. Because it was prophesied that they would love this current world. All right. And this current world is vile. And that's why you got our people that's still in the black culture. Niggas is still trying to make it in 2026 as a rapper. Niggas still got the get rich or die trying mentality in 2026. All right, that shit played out. That shit through. The NFC's collapsed. All right, but niggas is still trying to. That's how you see how, hey, the Lord got these people disillusioned. When you read about that, where it says, because they received not the truth, the love of the truth, that they might be saved. That they should believe a lie, roughly paraphrasing. All right, so these people and 2/3 of Israel, all right, they're getting ready to suffer even more than what they're suffering now. Okay. The things that they do for entertainment, the things that they do, all right, to bring their spirit joy, all right, the Lord's taking that away. Okay. And these people are getting ready to be tormented mentally, physically, spiritually unto their death. Okay. So going back, Isaiah 24 and 9, it says, they shall not drink wine with the song. Strong drink shall be bitter to them that drink it. Okay, so even the alcohol. All right, because that's one of the things people like doing. They like drinking, to lighten the mood. All right, but that is not going to be able to quell, the level of hell that these people is going through. Here it is. You catching pure hell. You working a high stress job. You're getting paid. Not you still living paycheck to paycheck. All right. You come home. You want to crack open a bottle. Watch the football. That's another thing. The sports industry is through. That shit cooked. 144 and the license plate call Allah Yahweh Shemal Shai. And it says first in flight on the license plate. Hey, the sports industry is through. All right, the shit's rigged. Okay. All forms of entertainment right now, as of right now, is collapsed. It's collapsing. All right. And we're at ground zero. All right. And, it's going to take a minute for the effects to really set in. Okay. And the Lord is going to direct everybody's attention to the hell that these people have been trying to avoid for so long. Okay. Verse 10, the city of confusion is broken down. Yeah, Babal, all right, means confusion. Okay. And that's all this place has been pushing is just confusion. It's, you don't even know what gender there's supposed to be two genders. These people, they said there's like over 50. All right. That's confusion, man. Here it is. Everything, every dealing, every ordinance, all right, that these people are structured under the United States is unjust ordinances. All right, going into how, you get paid at the end of the week or every 2 weeks. That's wicked. You're supposed to be able to get paid or whatever at the end of the day. Okay. So everything here is confusion. There's no true justice. All right. There's double standards. Okay, there's a caste system. All right, everybody's fake. Everybody's deceitful. All right, so that's the reason why the Lord's shutting it down. Okay, you people don't deserve to eat. You people don't deserve to be at rest. You people don't deserve to be at peace. Out of all the hell and hatred that you guys have put upon the Lord's chosen people, all right, and you guys are comfortable with it. Because if Yahweh Shema Shai don't do nothing, hey, including 2/3 of Israel, they would rather it be like this forever. All right, but the Lord said no. All right, and that's why everything is failing. Okay, there's no more momentum. All right, because the Lord is the one that put the wind behind the sails for society to have industrial revolutions. To be advanced, for music to be ambitious. All right, but the Lord stopped that for America. America has been stagnant. Okay, and now it's to the point where it's starting to set in, and people are seeing it. All right, and it's only a matter of time until people start panicking. Okay, everybody understands what's going on. Hey, something is bad is coming. All right, but they still want to hold on and try to business as usual. All right, but they're barely holding on. Okay, which is why a lot of people is turning to the Black Pill videos, and they're expressing their concerns. All right, you watch the Black Pill, it's nothing but people just talking about the economy, talking about the prices, talking about how everything is through. People have no motivation to live. Okay, no motivation to do anything. All right, why? Because this is judgment time. All right, you people, this is what you deserve. Now, the only ones going to be excluded from these things are the elect, because the elect have been bearing the iniquity of going off, which is why, Israel's in America in the first place. All right. But the elect have been catching that hell. So when the Lord bring judgment on the rest of these people, the table's going to be turned. All right. The Lord's going to be looking out for his elect. Okay. So Isaiah 24:10, it says, the city of confusion is broken down. It says, every house is shut up that no man may come in. It says, there is a crying for wine in the streets. All joy is darkened. The mirth of the land is gone. Okay, all joy is darkened. All forms of entertainment, all right, has collapsed. This is ground zero. All right, not a lot of people see it yet. Not a lot of people see the gravity of what's going on. But eventually, everybody's going to be affected in America. People are already being affected, but everybody's going to be affected to the point where, hey, people's going to be casted out of their homes. Okay. People's going to be rioting. All right. A lot of death is going to begin to take place. Okay. And this third world war is going to forward the collapse of the society faster. All right. The Strait of Hormuz. All right. And how they're destroying all them oil fields over there. America, and it is going back and forth with these attacks. What is that going to do? Eventually, that's going to trickle over here. Okay. Which is already putting stress on an economy, a fragile economy that hasn't even bounced back from the scamdemic. All right, so we're in that time. Okay, and the Lord still has his word going forth. The prophets is still speaking. All right, because the elect got to hear this. The mercy is still being extended, as well as these people need to hear the condemnation. Okay, here it is. These people, they love death. All right. Esau, them there, and 2/3 of Israel too. Issachar, the northern tribe, they love, the skeletons, and they love playing around with that shit. Celebrating holiday, Halloween. Here it is, Halloween is over. Them niggas, they still got their skeletons in their motherfucking yard. All right. Hey, the Lord getting ready to show these people, since you love paganism. That's what y'all into, the palm reading in every city. Yeah. All right. You guys love that type of shit. Guess what? Judgment's coming for it. Okay. Isaiah 24:11, there is a crying for wine in the street. Yeah, people's going to want answers. People's going to want comfort. All right. But hey, that's why, you know, they call us the doomsday prophets. All right. Because no comfort or no peace of mind is coming. All right. That's only for the elect. That's only for those that fear Yahweh Shema Shai, the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. All right. And you got to be an Israelite again. All right. So people's going to want answers. And when they don't get the answers, people are going to get desperate. Okay. It says all joy is darkened, meaning the future the future is going to be shut off. All right. It's going to be bleak for these people because every avenue that they look is going to be shut off. Only thing that's going to be imminent is death. The mirth of the land is gone. Okay. And America was super proud. All right. Niggas was turning up. Niggas was talking shit. Niggas was saying that America is big and bad and the best country on the earth. All right. And America is about to be a third world country. It already is. Okay. But across the board, every place in America is going to look like Oakland. Every place in America is going to look like San Francisco, meaning it's going to be ran down. It's going to look post-apocalyptic. It says, and the city is left desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction. Okay? So that's the time we in. And that's why the Spirit is having for brothers to lock in. All right? And sisters that believe, you know, they got their households. All right? And a lot of women, all right, that wisen up, that can see what's going on, they're going to be shacked up with a man of the Lord and the man of the Lord in their household. So a lot of women is getting ready to start sharing an Israelite man. Isaiah 4:1. All right. Let me get another precept. This is 2nd Ezra chapter 9. I'm going to start at 5 just to, you know, hit the point. It says, for like as all that is made in the world hath a beginning and an end, and the end is manifest. All right. And when you go into the word manifest, it means to be made apparent or to be made clear. And it's clear that we're at the end. All right. Just let it sink in. These people out here in the world, it ain't hit them yet. Here it is. Everything is collapsed. The price of everything is just going to continue to skyrocket. At some point, these people, they're going to snap into it. And they're going to realize that this is it. All right. It says, even so, the times also of the highest have plain beginnings and wonders and powerful works and endings and effects and signs. And everyone that shall be saved and shall be able to escape by his works and by faith, whereby ye have believed. So there's going to be an escape route. All right. But the only ones that are going to be able to go through that path, which is the straight gate, is the elect of Israel, which it's all predestinated for the elect to escape in these times. Because paradise is on the way. All right. Salvation is on the way. Restoration is on the way. The kingdom is here. It starts with this truth, the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Okay. The fact that these words is being spoken by way of the prophets, all right, it's real. It's a process. All right. That's why the scriptures speak about, you know, being occupied in prophecies, because, you know, hey, that's the timeline that the Lord has concerning existence. All right. And it's going to lead to a new world being formed, or the formation of a new world, which is the kingdom, when Yahweh Shai returns. All right. In the midst of World War III, when the missiles is getting let off. But the sea hip got to come first, okay? Which Esau, Edom, the wicked powers that be, they're going to be pushing that sea hip, which is going to be the hour of temptation and the Neuralink. So that has to come first before the missiles get let off, you know? So be on the lookout for that, because World War III is taking the center stage, all right? But the MOTB is getting ready to be pushed in the forefront, okay? Here it is, this nigga Esau trying to push a new society. Is completely satanic. And he wants to have full control over people. So I'm going to continue to read. It says, 8 shall be preserved from the said perils. So the elect are going to be preserved through all these things, and shall see my salvation in my land and within my borders. So it's going to happen in this lifetime, in this generation. All right. This is the generation in which the Lord is going to have that time come of salvation. Okay. That's why we know that it's close. It says, for I have sanctified them for me from the beginning, going into the predestination. All right. Now here's the point. It said, then shall they be in pitiful case, which have now abused my ways. Speaking of 2/3 of Israel. But the rest of these people are going to be in a pitiful case too. Because 2/3, they're going to suffer the same judgment as Esau, Edom, and the rest of these heathen nations. It says, and they that have cast them away despitefully shall dwell in torments. Okay. So that's what these people are getting ready to dwell in torments. Okay. They're already ascending or descending into it. All right. It's like, you know, these people, they get into a hot bath, they put their foot in, all right, and it's burning, but they got to get in there and sit down and then, you know, get acclimated to the temperature. All right. That's how Jacob's trouble is coming in on these people. But it's not going to be like that, actually. It's actually, they just going to be thrown in the boiling water. All right. Because the scriptures say, when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction. Okay. So, you know, they're feeling that squeeze. You know, people are worried, you know, that, you know, but then the Lord just going to turn it up. This is going to be just sudden chaos, sudden destruction and hysteria. All right. You know, Esau, Edom, they might do a false flag event. They might do, you know, a black swan. America, a pocket nuke might touch this place. Okay. This is the land of unwalled villages. All right. And these other nations, they getting ready to make a big statement that America can and will be touched. Okay. So verse 10, for such as in their lives have received benefits and have not known me. And they that have loathed my law while they had yet liberty, speaking of 2/3 of Israel. All right, because Jake loved this place, so Jake gonna get touched too. All right, here it is. Jake willing to fight for Esau. All right, fight for the small hat. It says, and they that had loathed my law, because you do got Jakes out there that are gung-ho about America. All right, and they'll curse you out if you got a problem with America. All right, we'll show you that Jake is completely gone. All right, it says, while they had yet liberty, and when as yet place of repentance was open unto them, understood not, but despised it. The same must know it after death by pain. All right, so that's what's coming. All right, and leading up to the death by pain, they're going to dwell in torments. All right, and there's nothing that they're going to be able to do to escape the hell. All right. Matter of fact, let me get one more and I'll begin to close out. This is Amos 5:19. It says, well, I'm going to start at 18. It says, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. All right, you got all these different religious groups, you know, the Christians, the Catholic. Here it is, they playing with Yahweh Shema Shai, man. They're playing with the scriptures. They playing with the word of the Lord. All right. Hey, the scriptures say, woe unto you that desire the day of the Lord. It says, to what end is it for you? The day of the Lord is darkness and not light. All right. And that's something that this place don't push, because why would they want this place to be destroyed? All right. They're not telling you what's going to happen or the destruction or you know, the chaos that's coming. They rather you say everything's gonna be okay, America's gonna bounce back. You know, keep sending in your donations. Okay. All right. I'm gonna continue to read. It says, as if a man did flee from a lion and a bear met him, or went into the house and leaned his hand on the wall and a serpent bit him. All right. So people in that time, all right, it's gonna be worse than all these movies put together. The Road, the Book of Eli, every single post-apocalyptic thriller, you know, movie. It's gonna be all those movies in one movie. The Lord's Yahweh Shemal Shai's movie. Okay. So these people, they're gonna try to escape the Gurgle troops, ICE. All right, they're gonna try to escape that. They're gonna be met with the famine. They're gonna try to escape the famine. They're gonna be met with the pestilences that's coming. All right. They're gonna try to escape the pestilence. All right. Leading up to all these different dangers out here. You know, let's say they escaped all these things, then how they gonna escape the nuclear missiles when they come? Or the laser beams from the chariots when they show up with Yahweh Shai. Okay? Verse 20 says, shall not the day of the Lord be darkness and not light, even very dark and no brightness in it? All right. So hey, we're in that time. You know, everything is collapsed, everything is through. Only thing that's left is the destruction. All right, and that's really what people sitting around and waiting for. You know? So hey, Lord's will is less edifying unto the Lord's elect. So I want to say, call all Yahweh Shemal Shai, Bashem Chakodash, double honors to our apostles and elders of Great Millstone, who taught us his truth, and who also were well. Peace and salutation to those of the hopeful elect. Shalom and a bar.